things I need to say. First of all, over here, whenever you guys are ready to have a party, call me, because you are the group. Coming in, you started clapping, and I loved it. If I'm going to go out dancing, I am taking you, because you can't help yourself. The music starts, and you doing this. Oh, I saw you. And you, bobbing that music, and you. Oh, absolutely. We are going to be there. Sure, boss. The music starts, and you are just going. And when we got the classes, you were just happy. I was going to come and grab you and dance with you. And then when I thought it was done, the sneaky one's over here. You didn't think I saw you. Is this your only daughter? I saw you. You got up to Halloween. You were bopping. And she looked at you and she started like this. And I said, oh, 2 more dance buttons. And then I caught you too. You think you nobody saw. I saw you back there. All right? Don't worry. We'll have the light dim when we're out there boogieing. But if I was in college and was looking for a buddy to go to a dance club with, Jack's dad. When you're out there, he's moving his shoulders. He's grooving. You ladies, he's married. You should watch him. He has the moves. So, the parish mission. About a year or so ago, I got a phone call asking me to do the parish mission, and they gave me the date. I said, oh, no, you mean this year? They said, no, next year, which is now this year. So it was a year ago they called me. And, you know, one of the things I hate, whenever I get a phone call to come and talk, it's like, okay, what do you want me to talk about? What do you think you want, Father? Just come and talk. Well, what if I want to go up there and tell everybody how to clean toilets? Is anybody going to be interested in that? Because if so, I can't tell you how to do that. I don't know your family. This is your job. All right? Tall, dark, and handsome, sexy, beautiful. Then listen to me. Tell me what you're talking about. I saw you back there laughing. All right, tall, dark, and handsome. Quite sexy, too. But the fact of the matter is, they came back and they gave me a frame to work with. And that frame fits perfectly with today's readings. You know, we do not have to declare to the world our scabs, our scars, our sicknesses, but we all have them. How often have you ever heard someone say, oh my God, are you serious? She always seemed so happy. She was so beautiful. Oh my God, he was always so helpful with a great smile. Because we don't know what's behind people's faces. So let me look around. I'm going to look at this group and I'm going to say there's probably maybe 5 of you in here who are waiting for a return call from the doctor because you're concerned about a test you just took. There's probably a good 8 of you in here who have some financial concerns and you're stressed about it. Probably another 3 of you who are either worried about your parents or your children. And there's 1 or 2 of you in here who are concerned that there's a peace slip waiting for you because they're downsizing. But nobody knows this. Because unlike our first reading, where the lepers have to declare themselves, you don't have to go to the world. You don't have to come in and say, church, I just want to announce, I'm waiting for the doctor to call and they have cancer. Church, I just want you to know I'm having marital problems. Church, I need you to know I might lose my job. Church, I need you to know I have financial problems. I'm behind in rent. I'm behind in mortgage. I'm behind in bills. We don't have to do that. But we carry that with us. All yesterday's hurts and angers and things that stop us from truly living. Most of it can be summed up in fear. And yesterday, before I came here, one of the parishioners called me. Her husband has decided, he left the hospital, go back to the nursing home. He told her, do not resuscitate me and stop the medication. He's done. And she says, I have to support him. So they wanted me to come up to see him, and they gave him the last rites. And it's interesting. He started crying and he says, Father, I was so afraid I wouldn't see a priest. And I said, did you think I wouldn't be here? But he says, I'm ready. I'm okay. He said, you know, I've been fighting. They give me medicine. They don't know if it's going to help. They said it's not. He said, so I told him to stop. I said, you're tired? He said, yes. He said, but I'm going to tell you, when I was a little kid, we were told that when we would die, we would see the face of Jesus. He said, even if I have to go to purgatory, I know I will see the face of Jesus. He said, when I do, he looked at his son, his wife, and me. He's in his mid-70s. He looked at his son, his wife, and me, and he says, when I see him, I'm going to tell him you guys said hello. And he smiled. He was very happy. And he looked at his wife, and he says, I really am at peace. And he is. Now, she, not as alive as he has a trait, and he wanted a beer. So she called the doctor to see if he could have a beer. And she told me this, and I said to her, who in God's green earth cares? He's going home. Put a phone in the whole darn case. So when we were there, I asked her, I said, what would you have done if the doctor said no? She says, I would have done it anyway. And the son says, well, we were concerned because they might not allow you here. I said, what are they going to do, throw you out? Ooh, really? And then she says, well, the other side too is I was concerned how it might interact with his medication. I said, he's going home. Who cares? And he kept laughing. But isn't it amazing how fear can stop us from living? Those scabs that we try to hide and cover up prevent us from living because people might see it. But when that leper went to Jesus in the gospel and said, if you will it, you can heal me. And Jesus said, I do. What's implied there, I do if you will it. Our mission is going to take us on a journey. Now, I'm going to tell you, a few weeks ago I read an article in the newspaper talking about the fact that pilgrimages work better for the faith than the church does. You know why? Because a pilgrimage, you get there, you have to be up at this time, be at breakfast, be on the bus, and you're on the move to these holy places. We come to church, we sit down, and, well, not about Jews, of course, it's a party out. But it's passive, we're not active. So I'm going to tell you now, tonight, it's going to be different, I think, because I don't know what's headed back. But we're going to be a little active, so we're going to be moving around a little bit. Tomorrow night, you're going to be here, but you're not going to just be totally comfortable. I mean, it won't be uncomfortable, but we're going to be out a little bit. And then Tuesday night, there'll be at least 2 of you that I'm going to need as a demonstration. So Jack, make sure you're here, okay? You got the movement, and you make sure you're here. All right? So we already got our 2 volunteers. So anyway, thank you so much. See, now you can't not come. Ron, who's watching, he knows exactly who you are. You're in trouble. All right? Everybody knows your dad's dad, so you got to come. All right? So the fact of the matter is, I can guarantee you the following things. When you come here and you leave, the reality out there will not have changed. You will still have bills, you'll still be behind, you'll still have those fears maybe. It's not going to be, we have some power to call upon God and everything's going to go away. That's not going to happen. But what will happen is your attitude may begin to change if you will. If you come, you're coming because you're going to present to your God, here are my scars. Here is the things that I hide from the world. You can heal me of this if you will it. You will hear Jesus say, if you're open, I do. And his question to you will be, do you will it?
Isn't it amazing how our sweet Jesus always sends us people to spur us on, to stir us up? Isn't Father Larry's challenge so loving and so gift-giving? How many times has Jesus said that? Your faith has saved you. You're here. Of course your faith is intact. And every time we don't take it for granted, every time we renew it and rekindle it, he's alive within us. Stay with me now as we call out in gratitude. I believe